Hello class, this is lesson 1-7, rounding and estimating decimals. This is the Learning Needed channel. My request to students in all videos is to remember your reason to pass the GED test. Keep that reason close to your heart as you push through studying and working those practice problems and finding these reference materials to pass that GED exam. Use that to motivate you to get that certificate. Second is don't give up. This is something that will take some effort, but using these resources and any books and just reaching out and getting that help will get you that GED certificate as long as you keep going at it and don't give up. And finally, please like and subscribe to this video and my YouTube channel. I can only produce this content with your continued support. Thank you guys so much in advance. If you are interested in one-on-one tutoring where I work with you live on practice problems, going over a specific trouble area in a subject, not just in GED Math, but in all 4 subjects, I do have that service available in my website description, which is in the video description below. Finally, the study material that I have used to work with my students and that I suggest for anyone studying the GED exam is the Kaplan GED Test Prep Book. They do release a new version every year, and it is a very helpful resource to study not just for the GED Math, but all 4 subjects, and it has very good, straight to the point lessons for you to study with. And note that the only approved calculator that you can take with you in the exam physically is the TI-30XS calculator. And if you are looking to get a copy of the latest version of the Kaplan book or the calculator, I do have links to purchase those in the description below. That way you know that you're getting the correct version of these resources. All right, let's get started. Rounding and estimating decimals. Rounding and estimating are very helpful in math in real life scenarios where finding the exact number or working with the exact number sometimes is going to take too much time or is more effort than it's worth for you to work with. For example, let's say a big bank wants to know how many customers open an account across the nation every day. Well, that is such a large number that changes every day, and they need this data to figure out a new service to offer their clients or prospective customers. They would waste a lot of resources trying to get that exact number for every day of the year, every year. So it is good to work with an estimate of the numbers. And that is just a quick real life example of an instance where an estimate, which you can get by rounding, is helpful instead of working with the exact numbers. To round a decimal, it is just 2 steps. First, you look at the digit to the right of where you're rounding to. Second, you look at the value of that digit and ask if the digit is 5 or more, then you round up, and if the digit is less than 5, in other words 4 or less, then you round down. And to give more information, rounding up means that you increase the place you are rounding to by 1, and if you round down, you do not change the value of place you are rounding to, and in both scenarios, whether you round up or down, you discard every number after the place you are rounding to. Now that was a lot of words, so let's work through an example. Let's say that we are asked to round 1.8759, or for practice, 1 and 8,759 10,000ths to the hundredths place. So first, we're going to look at the thousandths place. Why are we not looking at the hundredths place? Because the hundredths place is what we are rounding to. And according to step 1, you look at the place value immediately to the right of where you're rounding to, and that is the thousandths place. So let's look at this number here, and we see that the 7 is the hundredths place, and that is what we are rounding to. So we look at the thousandths place, which is the digit 5. Since the thousandths place is 5, and according to step 2, if it is 5 or more, then you round up. And what happens here is that the place value that we are rounding to, the hundredths place, or the 7, is increased to a value of 1, and the rest of the numbers 5 and 9 are discarded. We are done with them. And that is what an estimate is in form of a decimal. We are getting an approximate value, not the exact value, and that is what we are going to work with. That was all that is needed to round decimal numbers. So let's look at it in terms of an example problem. A car has a tank of 12 gallons. If gas costs $3.89 a gallon, estimate how much it would cost to fill the tank to the nearest dollar. Here, it told you that you will be estimating, and it told you what place value to estimate it to, but not by directly saying which place value, ones, tens, thousands, but to the nearest dollar. In this case, you would understand it as the nearest whole dollar or complete dollar. So not decimals, just a dollar. This is looking at the ones place of the problem, of the cost of gas. So you round the gas cost to the nearest whole dollar, which is the ones place, and to round correctly, you look at the value to the right of where you are rounding to. The place value immediately to the right of the ones place is the tens place. So looking at $3.89, that means that we are looking at the 8 to see if we are going to round up or down. 8 is a value greater than 5, so we round up. When we round up, that is increasing the value of the ones place by 1 and discarding the rest of the numbers. So there is now no numbers after the decimal point, and the estimated cost is $4. Now to solve the problem, we simply multiply the tank capacity of 12 gallons by the estimated cost per gallon, and that is 12 gallons times $4 each gallon, and that is an estimate of $48. Here's another example. During a trip, a group of friends drove 78.34 miles in the first hour, 82.76 in the second hour, and 95.12 in the third hour. Estimate the total distance traveled to the nearest mile. Here, we are going to round each distance to the nearest whole mile, and again, this is the ones place. We are going to look at the tens place of each distance that we are estimating for. So if we look at the three numbers provided, we are going to look at the tens place of each digit, so 3, 7, and 1 accordingly. Then we round, and 78.34 rounds down because 3 is less than 5. So the ones place does not change value. It simply stays at 8. Then we discard the rest of the decimals, and it is simply 78. 82.76 rounds up because the 7 is a value greater than 5, and that becomes 83. And 95.12 rounds down because the 1 is a value less than 5. Now that we have the estimated mileage driven in each of the 3 hours, we simply add those 3 values, and we see that we get an estimated total distance of 256 miles. That was today's lesson. Again, another shorter one. This was rounding and estimating decimals. It is just 2 steps and seeing if you round up or down. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next lesson.